In this video, we'll look into the Bernoulli's equation for real fluid. The Bernoulli's equation was derived on the assumption that fluid is non-viscous. Therefore, it is frictionless. But the real fluids are viscous and hence they offer resistance to flow. Right? They offer resistance to flow. Thus, there will be some losses in fluid flow. So then there will be little modification in the Bernoulli's equation when it is used for a real fluid. We know the Bernoulli's equation for ideal fluid is ρ1 divided by P1 divided by rho into G plus P1 square divided by 2G plus Z1 is equals to P2 divided by rho into G plus V2 square divided by 2G plus Z2. This is the Bernoulli's equation for ideal fluid. Ideal fluid. This is the Bernoulli's equation for ideal fluid. So, the Bernoulli's equation for real fluid is P1 divided by rho G plus V1 square divided by 2G plus Z1 is equals to P2 divided by rho G plus V2 square divided by 2G plus Z2. Again, here we will add one more term called as H1. What is H1? H1 is the loss of energy. H1 is the loss of energy between points 1 and 2. Between points 1 and 2. Okay? Between points 1 and 2. This is the equation for real fluids. So, I will tell you once again. Ideal fluid is the one where there will be no viscous. Okay? So, we know from the definition that viscosity will be 0 for the ideal fluids. But whereas for real fluids, for any type of fluids, we can see that there will be some viscosity for all fluids which will which will always have, that means there will be always some losses in the fluid flow. Okay, fluid flow. So that losses, that means when fluid is flowing from one point to the second point, first point to the second point, to move from here to here, it has to it has to face resistance because of the viscosity also. That means it will lose some of the energy to reach from point 1 to point 2. So that is what we call it as, that is what this is H1, which is lost here. Okay, H1 is the loss of energy between points 1 and 2. This is the Bernoulli's equation for real fluids. Okay, so now let us look into the problem. A pipe of diameter 400 mm carries water at a velocity 25 meters per second. Okay, the pressures at the point A and B, the pressures at the point A and B are given as 29.43 Newton per centimeter square and 22.563 Newton per centimeter square respectively. while the datum head at A and B are 28 meters and 30 meters. While the datum head at A and B are 28 meters and 30 meters. Okay. Find the loss of head between. Find the loss of head between. Head means what is the energy that is lost between A and B. Okay, A and B. To do that one, what we can do is the procedure how we have to follow is calculate the energy at point A and calculate the energy at point B. Take the difference between those two, that will be the loss of energy between those 2 points A and B. Okay, so at this is, if this is the datum point, if this is the datum line, okay, from here to at 28 mm and at 30 mm. This is at 30 mm. Okay. The pipe is inclined something like this. This is, okay. They have not given that this is the pipe. Okay. This is the pipe. They have not given that areas differently. This pipe diameter they have given. It is not a tapered pipe as we have done it in the previous problems. This is the pipe diameter, that is equals to 400 mm. Okay, 400 mm. Then D is equals to 400 mm, which is equals to 400 mm, which is equals to 0.4 meters, converting it into meters. Next, velocity is equals to 25 meters per second. 25 meters per second. Right? Then pressures. Pressure at point A is equals to 29.43 Newton per centimeter square, that is equals to 29.43 into 10 to the power of 4 Newton per meter square. Then datum, that is ZA is equals to 28 meters and this is 30 meters. Z2. ZB is equals to 30 meters. Right? So total energy at A. Total energy at A, we know from the Bernoulli's equation, that is equals to P1 square divided by rho g plus V1 square divided by 2g plus Z1. Okay. P1 is equals to 29.43. So energy, I will write it as energy at A, that is EA is equals to P1 square, P1 is, PA square, PA and VA, 29.43 into 10 to the power of 4, it is not square, PA divided by rho g. Okay, PA divided by rho g divided by 1000 into 9.81 plus velocity is equals to 25 meters per second, right? 25 meters per second. 25 square divided by 2 into 9.81 plus Z1 is 28 meters. So when we solve this one, we will get energy at A, point A is equals to 89.5 89.85. 89.85. Okay. The same way at point B, at point B, okay, and pressure they have given it as 22.563 Newton per centimeter square, that is equals to 22.563 into 10 to the power of 4 Newton per meter square. Okay. Next, datum ZB is equals to 30 meters. Next, VB is equals to VA, that is equals to 25 meters per second. Then energy at B is equals to 22.563 into 10 to the power of 4 divided by 1000 into 9.81 plus 25 square divided by 2 into 9.81 plus this ZB is equals to 30. This will result it as 84.85. So net loss in energy or loss of energy is equals to EA minus EB. Okay. Excuse me, EA minus EB, that is equals to 89.85 minus of 84.85. This is equals to 5 meters. This is the loss of head or loss of energy. This is how we can calculate for real fluids. We can have this type of problems by taking even the taper section also. We can solve 2 or 3 problems like this. Now let us look into the next topic, that is the momentum equation. The momentum equation. Okay, we know from the law of conservation of momentum or the principle of momentum, from law of conservation of momentum, we know that the net force acting on the fluid mass is equal to change of momentum of flow per unit time in that direction. Okay, that is, if what this says, law of conservation of momentum, it says that the net force acting on a fluid mass is equal to the change of momentum or the change in momentum of flow per unit time in that direction. So from the Newton's second law of motion, we know that F is equals to m into A, where what is A? A is equals to rate of change of velocity, that is acceleration, dv by dt. So F is equals to m into dv by dt, or I can write it as F is equals to d into mv divided by dt. Why m will be constant? Because m is constant and we can take it within the differential also. Okay, since m is constant, it is not varying, right? M, the mass of the fluid, cannot vary. M is constant. I can take it as. So, how we can write? That is F into dt is equals to d into mv. F into dt is equals to d into mv. This equation is called as the momentum principle. This is momentum principle. F into dt is equals to d into mv, or even we call it as impulse momentum equation. What it says that the impulse of a force and they are momentally at that particular of time. Impulse andre at that particular of time. The impulse of a force F acting on a fluid of mass m in a short interval of time dt will be equal to the change of momentum in that direction. Okay, will be equal to the change of momentum in that direction of a force. This is what is called as the impulse equation of momentum, or impulse momentum equation. This equation is also called as momentum principle or impulse momentum equation. Impulse momentum equation. Okay, so using this principle we can find out what will be the force exerted by a flowing fluid on a bent pipe. Okay, till now we have seen when it is a taper how to calculate, okay, and when it is a straight one how to calculate. Now we will see when the pipe is bent how to calculate the forces at that particular time. Okay, at that particular time. This we will discuss in next class, or let me continue with this one. There is one small derivation here, that is to calculate the force exerted by a fluid flowing in a bent pipe. Fluid flowing in a bent pipe. Okay. So let us consider this pipe. Fluid this is the bent pipe. From here it is changed like this. Let this be the theta and let this be fx and this be fy, and from here it is p1 a1, okay, and here it is will be P2 A2, that is discharge P2 A2. Now if this is the velocity in this direction V2, then this will be, and this is theta, this is V2 cos theta, and this will be V2 sin theta. Okay, and when we resolve this pressure P2 which is in its opposite direction, okay, this is P2A2, P2A2. So this will be P2A2 cos theta, and in opposite direction it is P2A2 sin theta. This is theta. When we resolve this force here, we know starting from here, start here and come to this point, right? This is how we will resolve the force. From the tail, draw a triangle and close that triangle. So this will be the direction. Okay. So as I have told you, the impulse momentum equation is used to determine the resultant force exerted by a flowing fluid on a pipe bent pipe. So let Fx and Fy be, the remaining things will be, we know that V1 is the velocity at section 1, velocity of flow at section 1, and P1 is pressure intensity, P1 is pressure intensity, and A1 is area of cross section, right? Then Fx and Fy be the components of forces, exerted by the flowing fluid. Exerted by the flowing fluid. Then force exerted by the bend on the fluid in the direction of x and y will be equal, but it will be in the opposite direction. That means Fx opposite direction. Hence the component of a force exerted by the bend on the fluid in x direction is equals to minus Fx, right? So this bend will exert some force, right? When you are, what will be this force? This is the fluid, it is Fx is the force exerted by the flowing fluid, but whereas what will be the force exerted by the bend? Exerted by the bend will be equal to, in x direction, will be equal to its negative, that is minus Fx, whereas force exerted by the bend in y direction is equals to minus Fy. Please don't get confused. What is Fx and Fy? That is the force of the components of the force exerted by the fluid that is flowing. Whereas the bent will exert some force on the fluid, that will be minus Fx and minus Fy. Okay. The other external forces acting on the fluid are P1A1 and P2A2 on the section 1 and 2. Right? So then the momentum equation in x direction is given by, okay, though net force acting on a fluid, in the x direction is equals to, we know F is equals to rate of change of momentum, right? Rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum in that particular direction, in x direction. That means what will be the net force acting in x direction? P1A1 minus this P2A2, we have resolved it, then it is in this particular direction, opposite direction. So P2A2 cos theta minus Fx is equals to, we know the momentum is equals to mass into acceleration, that is mass per second into change of velocity. Mass per second into change of velocity. This is equals to rho into Q, that is density into discharge, into change in velocity is final velocity minus initial velocity, isn't it? In that particular direction, initial velocity. This is equals to rho Q. What is the final velocity? Final velocity is equals to this one. In x direction, what it is? V2 cos theta. So V2 cos theta minus V1. V2 cos theta minus V1. Or even we can write it as Fx is equals to rho Q into V1 minus V2 cos theta, okay, plus rho 1 A1 minus this is not rho 1, P1 A1 plus P2 A2 cos theta. Okay, in the same way, the momentum in y direction, this is the force in x direction. In the same way, Fy is equals to rho Q into minus V2 sin theta minus P2 A2 sin theta. Okay, P2 A2 sin theta. Because see here, in y direction we don't have this P1 A1, right? The only forces acting in y direction is forces acting in y direction are P2 A2 sin theta and V2 sin theta. V2 sin theta, only two forces. So Fy is equals to rho Q into minus V2 sin theta minus P2 A2 sin theta. Now the resultant force is equals to square root of Fx square plus Fy square. Okay, square root of Fx square plus Fy square. Then angle made by the resultant to the horizontal, always we know tan theta is equals to Fy by Fx. These two things you should remember. Okay. So we will solve in the next video. We will see the different types of problems on this particular topic.